All right, we are live. It's Crystal Lynn Bell, and I am here with the Spiritual Business Happy Hour, and I'm really excited. This is the first episode. Today, we're going to be talking about business strategy with a spiritual twist. So, the question is, how do you actually be a spiritual woman who runs her business using your spirituality, but runs it from a place of success? Do you need to be like a man to run your business? Do you have to do everything logically? Do you need to have a business plan and do everything by the book? Or can you use your heart? Can you use your intuition? Can you use your tarot cards to actually run this business? So, my name is Crystal Lynn Bell. I'm the founder of Badass Butterfly Alchemy. And today I'm going to be talking to my dear friend. Her name is Irina Portnova. She's with Manifestation Star. And we are going to be talking about how to run your business using your heart, using spirituality, using the divine feminine. Now, if you stay with us until the end of today's session, Irina is going to guide us on a short visualization, but it's going to help you integrate the things that you have learned. So let's welcome my friend, Irina Portnova. Welcome,
Ta-da-da-da-ta-da! Oh my
Irina.
God, so
Welcome.
beautiful. Look at you. Such a pro. Beautiful show. And I'm super excited to be on this first episode. Very
Excellent.
honored. And it's great to be here with you.
Excellent. Hey, Irina, before we get started, I want to talk to you. I want to give everyone who's watching a little bit of insight about what you do. So I have your bio here and I want to look at it. I want to say it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you have a rich story. So I'm going to read just a little bit about it. And then I'd love for you to share a little bit more. So, um, one of the reasons why I love you and I wanted you on my show is because in your bio, you say instead of simply studying universal laws, you tested them, you played with them, and you challenged them. I love that. Um, and hey, the topic of today's conversation, you actually lived it. You built your thriving coaching business using universal laws and using spirituality. I want to say also, just so everybody knows what you do, Irina is a certified manifestation coach, and she's a client attraction and visibility strategist. She's also an international best-selling author. She's a podcast host, speaker, and she's the creator of the predictable income. Let me say it right, the Predictable Income System Summit, which she's hosting right now. So you can join that. Hey, Irina, do you want to drop your link for that in the chat right now so that people can
Sure,
have it? I think
sure.
that would be great. But anyway, she's hosting this incredible summit, and I'm a speaker there. There's some other great speakers. So if you are a woman who wants to build predictable income, that's income you can rely on, income you can trust, you can relax and settle into your coaching. This is going to be a great summit with great speakers, and Irina has put that together. So I want to welcome my friend, Irina Portnova. All right, Irina.
Yay.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you into coaching?
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, I had a very interesting,
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
yeah, just bring me back. I like that butterfly. I'm here and there and everywhere.
Hold on. I wanted to spotlight you, and I
Spots.
realized I don't know how to do that. So I,
It's on the bottom. You see like different windows, and it has to be like
I'm going to not worry about that because
okay,
I'm a focus.
we'll do it next time. Yes. Yeah, it's okay. I love it. It just, shows our authenticity. That's why I don't like pre-recorded things. I love everything live, just raw and real, right?
So true. Thank you for being gracious, friend.
Yes, sure,
But,
sure.
but please tell us more about
Yes.
how you came into coaching.
So how I came into coach, and during the pandemic, I lost my corporate job. And that was the time where it's interesting because like I always was asking the universe, I was telling, I don't see my kids enough, because I was in the accounting field and I was leaving early. I'm coming back late, and the only time I spent with them was on the weekend. So I was complaining, right, but not doing anything about it. And then the universe delivered, right? I always say, be careful what you wish for, because a lot of times we just throw things out there, but our words have the power and our thoughts carry the power, right? And the
Yeah.
more we understand that we are energetic beings, and we are all made out of energy, and whatever we are focusing our energy on is going to expand.
Yeah.
So the universe delivered it in the most unexpected way for me. And it's interesting because at that point, I already had that longing that I want to have my own business. But Crystal, Lynn, when I was thinking about doing something accounting wise, that was not something that was inspiring me. So I was
The
just,
heart.
yeah. So I was just shoving it, like, okay, I want to run my business, but I don't even know where to start, right?
Mhm.
And then pandemic hit, so I lost the job, and I remember I had like such a mixed feelings coming home, because on one hand I was wondering what's going to happen next. I knew it wasn't easy as just updating the resume, because everybody was losing the jobs, right? But then the bigger questions started to come out, like what's next for me. And even though I came home, I was saying to myself, okay, let me just enjoy. Maybe this is the way universe says to me that you wanted, now you have the time with your kids. So like a couple of months it was great, we were baking together, we were cooking, we were playing together. But then that discontent started to bubble up in me, and it was like, what's my next step, what am I gonna do? And I knew that there were no jobs. So one morning, Crystal, I woke up with that feeling that I want to have my own business.
Mm.
And like there are these two voices inside of us. There is one voice that wants more out of life because we are all here to live and expand. And the other, so I was like a little bit, like so flying away, just thinking, oh my God, this is so cool. I have my own schedule. I'm going to be doing something that I love. Nobody's watching me. And just, started to go into this la la land with the dreams. And then the other voice of reason, as we call it, came to me and saying, really? Look around. You are out of your mind. Everybody's closing their companies, and you are here to open something going to do. And that's exactly what was that, like, but that voice that wanted something more from life actually won. And I
Thank you.
remember I just picked up the phone and I was calling my girlfriend and I said, listen, I got this amazing idea to be the business owner. And I said, I don't even know where to start from. And she said, Irina, you are so good with people. People just come to you, you give them the advice, just see what you can find in this area, right? And then I just kept open. Meantime, I started to learn tarot. I was like, let me do something that I feel like is interesting to me, right?
Mhm.
And then maybe 6 months passed. My daughter, who was in high school that time. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Crystalline, I did not know what I want, but all I knew, I had the clear picture in my mind that I
Mhm.
have my laptop and I saw myself on the beach. I love water and I love turquoise water. And I saw myself opening this laptop and working. What exactly I was doing, I had no clue. But that was the image that was coming back to me. At that moment, I didn't even know what manifestation is.
Mhm.
But I was constantly coming back to that image. So then 6 months passed. My daughter comes to me. She was in the high school. She says, Mom, hire me the therapist because I can't study from home. It just doesn't go. And I don't know any therapists. and we reached out to her dance teacher. And my daughter was doing ballroom dance since she was 4. And that teacher is amazing because she knows, like if you need anybody, she knows everybody. So
Right?
I called her up and she said, Irina, she doesn't need a therapist. She said, I have this amazing girl. She's a life coach. Crystal, this is the first time in my life that I heard the word of life coach.
Amazing.
I'm telling you, this is just to put into perspective. It's never the lack of the resources, it's the
Right.
lack of our awareness.
Yeah.
Just if we do not know something, it doesn't mean it's not existing.
Right. Yeah, for sure. You know, Irina, I love this story. I'm so glad that I asked you to tell it because number one, I'm so happy to learn more about you. But you are the language that you've used and the way that you have spelled everything out is exactly my point. You're talking a lot about feelings, and I wrote a bunch of stuff down, which is what I'm over
Mhm,
here doing. I'm like, let me
mhm,
write my notes.
mhm,
So you went from accounting, so being in a corporate environment,
mhm,
which I'm sure felt pretty limiting for someone
mhm.
like you because number
Totally.
one, you are a free spirit, you're open-hearted, you're open-minded,
Mhm.
but you're also incredibly creative. So I imagine that being in that corporate job was pretty stifling to you, even though I'm sure you respected it, right?
Absolutely, my love. You know what I didn't like the most? To report to somebody.
This was what I
That's
was
my
gonna say.
biggest
This
thing.
is
I
what
was
I was
like,
gonna say. Because how on earth would somebody tell you what you should be doing, right?
mhm,
And I know that
absolutely.
I know you were respectful at your job. I'm sure of all
Yes.
those things. But I know also that as an entrepreneur, a lot of us we're bossy, right?
Mhm,
We're bossy and we have to, for myself, I was kind of that spirit was kind of squashed when I was young. Like it was like, oh, you're bossy, you're too bossy. You
mhm,
need to be, you're too young to know what you want. You can't really be the one in charge of making those decisions. I always had to kind of like
mhm,
subvert my will and my intention
mhm,
to the people who had more authority. But
mhm.
as a business owner, there's no more of that, which is wonderful. But I want to just finish because you said you dropped some real golden nuggets in here. You talked about a feeling of being on the beach, like you had the vision of being on the beach
Mhm,
with the laptop. You didn't know what you were going to be doing, but you just knew that it was something that was going to be real for you, right? That
mhm,
I think is so important. The other thing was you wanted a business. Wanting is a feeling. You said,
mhm,
I have to trust my intuition. You said that there was a feeling of discontent. And then you
mhm,
talked about that voice of reason, which was
mhm,
not right for you. That voice of
mhm,
reason was not right for
mhm,
you. And I just
mhm,
love that you are sharing that, Irene.
mhm. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Awesome. So again, I want to just pop back in to our topic. And our topic is can spirituality be a business strategy? And I want you to answer that for us, Irina. Can spirituality be a business strategy?
I love that question. And of course, I can say yes, it can. Because again, if we understand how we are navigating this life, we all have this perfect GPS inside of us, which is our intuition crystal. But majority of the people never taught how to tap to that. Neither did I know until I started to study all these things, right? And just look at I'm a big fan of Bob Proctor, and I remember he was saying, look at all the animals. They know what to do. They are never frantic. And look at us humans. We are constantly like, so discombobulated, although because we have this, like our brain, which is constantly stopping us to do something. And I love this example because again, we all have this intuition. Like if we just start watching the animals, I have this stray cat that lives, next to my house. She's like protecting the house. She's not allowing anybody. She thinks she's the queen, and she is. So what happened, in winter we had like a big snowstorm, and I was so scared. I was like, the snow was like pretty high, and I was thinking, oh my god, where is she going to hide? What is she was missing for a day, and then once the streets were cleaned, she showed up. And that tells me that we all have that intuition, but we are not tapping to that. We are not using it because we are so used to navigate just with our logical mind. Again, we are not saying that you do not need the logical mind, but we want to tap more to that side that knows something, right? And interesting part about intuition, Crystal, it's that it's never, like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like, just think about it, somebody is watching the weather. They're watching, and they on the weather channel they say, okay, it's going to be sunshine, no clouds, and all of a sudden the person just reaches out for the umbrella, like not even realizing why. So next time the person goes out, and in the middle of the day it starts raining. That's exactly how our intuition works. Like,
Yeah.
this first instinct, whatever it is when our intuition speak. And I just wanted to add it to the part for our decision making, because a lot of times before we decide what we want, our intuition speaks the first 3 to 5 seconds, and after that our logical mind comes in, and
Mm.
our logical mind is going to find all the reasons why it's not for us. So this is something to pay attention to, because the more we tap into our intuition, the more we learn how our intuition actually responds and how to rely on it.
Wow.
Because again, we are not trained to trust invisible. And I say that there is more invisible than visible. Just even think about it. Internet. We do not see internet, but we know that if there is internet, we can do things on computer. Same with the Wi-Fi. We
Yeah.
do not see Wi-Fi. We
Yeah.
do not see that,
We
like
don't see a lot.
electricity. Yeah,
We don't
we
see
do not
electricity.
see.
We don't see air.
Exactly, right? So we do not see electricity for itself, but we know that if something wired correctly, that if we come into the room and we turn on the switch, the light comes out, right?
Yeah.
And
So
if the light doesn't come, we are not just staying on our knees and praying, please light come in, right? We know something has to be fixed. So
yeah.
the same thing is working in our real life and even in the business, that if something doesn't work, there is a disconnect. And it's our job to navigate that disconnect. And again, if we, like, I'm a big fan of universal laws, right? Because if we understand how the entire world is functioning, it's through these laws. These laws are always at work, whether we accept it, whether we realize it or not. But the more we understand them and the more we learn how to live by these laws, we start really navigating this life much better,
Yeah.
and we are just riding the wave.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is absolutely such a beautiful concept. It's a beautiful philosophy, and I found it to be true. So, one of the things that you've been talking about is intuition, and then you mentioned it, instinct. Right outside my door, and I've been talking about this a lot on Facebook, right outside our door, on the side patio, there is a cactus, and in the cactus, a hummingbird has built
I
a nest,
saw that. This is
right?
unbelievable.
And it's probably about that big, this hummingbird's nest, and it's maybe about that deep. So it's pretty small. And what's happened is this mother has laid two eggs, and they are probably about the size of
Mm-hmm.
my fingernail, right?
Inverted. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely beautiful. And, she would leave and then come, but she sat on those eggs. Like, I would go out there and I would see her on those eggs for hours every day. Like she barely left left those eggs.
Mhm.
But then once the babies were born, she had to leave because she's now got to feed herself and her
And the
two
little
babies,
baby.
right?
Yep. Mhm.
And hummingbirds, their energy is so high, they expend so much energy. So now the instinct has changed. She's now spending more time away. The little babies are tucked down in their little nest, so you just see the top of them.
Cute.
But
Yeah.
now, as they're getting older and older, of course, they're getting larger and larger, but they're also getting bolder and bolder, right? There's more trust that's developing, there's more understanding of the sounds and all this. So, living in harmony with the ecosystem of these hummingbirds, I think is really, really interesting. And you talked about Bob Proctor, and I love how he talks about, like, hey, God has given animals instinct and awareness of the world in which they live. And, humans, we have it too, but it's clouded by all those things. You said that so beautifully. But the thing that I notice about myself in business as both a coach, but also as a moneymaker, there is an instinct that I have. And that instinct is partially intuitive. It's become intuitive, but a lot of it was planted there. Irina, what is your life path number? Do you know your life path number?
Number one.
You're number one. That's awesome. This is definitely your year. 2026 is
Yeah.
definitely your year.
And
Well,
I'm a Leo, and Leo is also, this
the
year is
number
also.
one, ruled by
Mhm.
the sun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's so cool. I love hearing this, but I have to say, I knew this. You carry yourself like a number one. You make things happen like a number one, like for sure. And the Leo spirit is there as well. Excellent.
Thank
You're
you.
walking the path, my friend. I am a number eight, which is really about business and power and authority. And that instinct is kind of like God's gift. And I think that when we're setting up our businesses, it's important to kind of understand
Yeah.
that God has given you certain instincts that are you are more accessible to us.
Mhm.
For Irina, that number one is about being in your power and saying yes to the universe and assuming that the universe is going to meet you where your ideas are. Would you say that that's true?
Yeah, and to be the leader, it's
Be the
exactly what number one is mentioned, like pioneer. I see that in me very much, like trailblazer, not to be like afraid of taking the step, even though I do not know where I'm heading. Right. So
leader.
yeah, I have that fearlessness in me.
Absolutely. And I've got to say to everyone watching this, Irina actually is the inspiration for the Spiritual Business Hour with Crystal Lynn Bell. Okay. The
Ooh.
reason that I'm even doing this is something that has been in the back of my mind for probably 10 years, if not more. But it wasn't until Irina's spirit came in and her soul talked to my soul, her heart talked to my heart. And I bet this is how you coach too, but we're going to talk about
Oh,
that. But
beautiful. Yes.
but her heart talked to my heart, and the next thing I knew, I'm like, okay, I'm putting this thing together, and I put the whole thing together, and it happened all within a week, but it was all because she activated the spirit inside me. Irina, tell me a little bit, or tell us a bit about how you work with people.
Oh my God, this is so beautiful. You know what? Remember we were talking about masculine versus feminine, right?
Hmm.
So it's super important because especially when we come out of this corporate world where
Mm,
everything was like logic. I do this and that's exactly the outcome. In the world of business, it's not everything is black and white, right? There is a lot of exploration, and I always say I can give the same strategy to two different coaches, and one is going to accelerate, another one is going to, like barely making, right?
Hmm.
Because each person has its unique energy, and again we are tapping into, like energetic side of ourselves. It's the same, like I would like to always give that example where everybody can connect. Like if you go somewhere to the party and somebody baked the cake and you say, "Oh my God, what a cake. Give me the recipe." And then you come home and you cook and it's not the same taste as you tasted, right? Because
Hmm.
we have all these unique energies, right? The more we understand, the more we connect these pieces together, we know that there is something unique about us. And I see a lot of coaches, entrepreneurs, what they do, they take the strategy and they're just pushing, and then they get frustrated because the outcome is not showing up. That's because they forget that, like before it has to be being. Like, how do we connect with people? We want to be around people who are lighthearted, people who laugh, people who just, like being, right? Because when we have that, like stiffness, it's like it's not attractive,
Yeah,
right? That's why we
it's
moved
not.
from corporate world. Like, think about it. I look at us, like even though we have like a huge mission, but if I like put us in the category, we are in the category of entertainment, right? So
Sure.
people watch, they, like, let's say somebody from work, they're so, like consumed with everything, they just want to watch like even our podcast, they want to watch it and they want to relax and, like not
Unwind.
being, yes, not being, tight and or think too much, right? They just want to relax and allow themselves to go into a different possibilities, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we are here for. But if we are showing up, I remember I came across this woman, she was a happiness coach. There was no smile on her face, and I was thinking, who would ever want to work with the person who sells happiness
Mm.
when she's not smiling, right? We have to really understand, am I actually showing up the way, like, whatever I'm serving,
Yeah.
am I actually embodying it, right? And that's exactly embodiment, meaning not just know the concept but actually practice it
Yeah.
and be good at it, right? Because it's the same. What is embodiment? It's the same, like, I love figure skating, but from, like if I never put the skates on, I cannot be skating, right? So I can know everything. I can, know which skates to pick up. I can know which, ice is better. But until I go and do it myself, I would never be good at it.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is, I think, part of the process of allowing and just starting. You know,
Mhm,
one of the biggest mistakes that women make is they never actually start. They're
mhm,
waiting for all their ducks to be put in a row. They're
mhm,
waiting for the right time. They're waiting for, like, when you showed up with the Predictable Income System Summit,
mhm,
you showed up and I said yes.
mhm.
Like, I'm just
Yeah,
like, I'm not going to think about this. Here, God is giving me an opportunity, and I would be a
absolutely.
fool to put it off or, look at all the reasons why now is not the right time.
Mhm, mhm.
And do you see what happens when you do it? All of a sudden, everything comes together.
Unfolds, right? Opportunity. When
Oh,
opportunity comes, we want to open the door.
exactly. You want to open the door, you want to say yes, and you need to get your ass out there
Mhm,
and
mhm.
allow it to happen. Absolutely. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Now,
Can I just add one more thing, Crystal?
yeah,
Because
please.
it just came to my mind that, I know that sometimes I'm doing things and they are not coming perfect. And I remember once, I preset something for the automation and it came in like before the time. And so, a couple of people replied back, like there are these, good people who always notice what went wrong.
Right.
And and I was like, I didn't even take it. I was like, "Phew, it's okay." So what I did, I said thank you for letting me know, and then I just, like, broadcast the email to everybody saying, oops, human error.
Yeah.
And like, as long as we are not just like putting ourselves in that guilt mode, that, oh my god, what people are going to say, people are going to say about us regardless,
Yeah.
right? And as long
Exactly.
as we make it comfortable, and as long as like we just like, I love to do it like raw and real, like right now we are doing it, right? Not no editing, no
Yeah.
pre-recording, because we just want to show that, hey, we are humans and we are connecting with the real humans, because in the
Yeah.
real life nothing is perfect, and I love that it's not perfect, because otherwise it would be boring.
Boring.
So, yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. So this is the way I look at everything. And again, um, for a lot of people who might be watching us,
Hmm.
you never meant to do that alone. If
Exactly.
you are scared, if you feel like, I'm not sure what to do, that's why there are coaches.
Yeah.
Like I said, I never spent a single day without the coach. I had my different mentors for different in different areas, and that's why I excel so much faster than some people who have 15, 20 years in business, and they look at me and they don't understand what's the secret sauce.
Yeah,
The
man.
secret
This is
sauce is,
beautiful.
yes, the secret sauce is, first of all, you become a quick decision
Yeah.
maker,
Mm.
because the decision is the key. If we are sitting and just trying to calculate, this is the good decision or bad decision, we are just wasting the time. Make the
Absolutely.
decision, right? Hire the great expert who you trust, that this is the person who is already somewhere where you want to be.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
just enjoy the process and do the actions, right? It's not just come into classes and learn. You gotta take action steps every day,
I
every
love
day.
this. I love this. And I think it's so true. And you have so much to offer. I have so much to offer. I've been doing this for 15
Mhm,
years and you've been doing it for however many years you've been doing it, but it's more about like the life experience that you've had. That corporate time, that time that you spent in corporate,
mhm,
you were learning and understanding what it means to be um, a subject of a corporation, and
mhm,
now you bring that wisdom and you know how to set women free. You know
mhm,
how to set women free. It's the next step. I love what you've been saying here. Now, Irina, I want us to move into, there are a couple things. I want to get to your visualization, but I
mhm.
also want you to tell us a little bit about your predictable income summit. Can you tell us a
Mhm.
bit about that right now?
Yes, thank you, my love. First of all, I'm happy that you are one of our amazing speakers with your talk about content trap, which is super,
Yeah.
super important.
Mhm.
And yeah, this summit, when I was creating it in mind, that there are so many talented coaches and healers who have this beautiful wisdom and gifts to share, but they are missing that link. How do I actually become visible? How do I sell it? And how do I make people buying what I actually have in the store, right? So that's why I collected all these incredible voices, including you, and I said, okay, let's tap into the mindset, let's tap into the strategy, and combine everything to bring to people whatever is the missing piece for them, right? Maybe
Yeah.
somebody is not comfortable with the messaging. Maybe somebody is overwhelmed with a lot of things. They want to delegate the responsibility, right? Maybe
Right.
somebody wants to know how to make more effective content. That's why you come to the play, right?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody is still growing that confidence, because it's okay. We are still growing our confidence, because we are
Absolutely.
never done. Like, as long as we are breathing and we are here in this world, there is always a room for improvement, right?
Mhm.
So we are
Absolutely.
just kind of moving from one level to another level, but like, just stop looking at somebody and think I'm not them, because you can be even better as long as you make that decision.
Yeah. As long as you make that decision and then you treat that decision with respect, you,
Mhm.
I believe in working with a coach or mentor. If you've never run a business before, then you need to work with somebody who has. It's not
Mhm.
something you just figure out on your own unless you
Exactly.
just want it to be a hobby, or, you're not
Or you
actually
want to do it
money.
for the longest time.
Right, if you
You
right,
can throw the spaghetti on the wall and see whatever sticks, but
mm,
I always keep reminding everybody, if you are trying to save money, just think about it. Time is something that you would never buy with any kind of money.
you
So if
can't.
you are wasting that time by figuring it out rather than hiring somebody who can show you the shortcut, it's
Mm,
going to cost you.
exactly, and really trying to figure out business is
Mhm.
very counterintuitive, honestly.
Mhm. Yep.
Now, Irina, will you please, again, with the link, because the predictable income system, I want to just make sure that people have that. We have it in the comments for you. It's in the description, so you should be able to grab that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I'm not, I don't know. I'm not sure if I can post the link. Let me just drop it.
And
Can I just
actually, yeah,
drop my link?
yep. Here, I see, actually, I see the link here. I'm going to just copy it and
Okay,
then drop it
thank you.
myself. There we go. Boom.
Yes, thank you.
I see it now because I'm learning
Beautiful.
how to use the system. You helped me
And
see
you
what I got to do.
agreed. You decided to go out without knowing every step, and it's
Yeah,
beautiful. This is what,
it's working.
like, this is the inspiration for others because, like I said,
Exactly.
don't wait for the perfect
Exactly.
moment. Just come and do things imperfect because
Yeah.
that's how we are growing and learning.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Now, I think it's time for us to have just a few minutes with
Yeah.
Irina, who's going to lead us on a visualization because she's so good at this. I am not going to try to highlight because I don't want to mess it up, but let's bring all of our awareness to Irina and let her guide us on a visualization. All right?
Thank you so, so much. And I'm honored that you allow me to do that. All right. I would invite everybody to gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out through your mouth. Continue breathing comfortably in and out, and become more and more relaxed with every breath you are taking. Drop your shoulders, get yourself relaxed in the present moment of here and now. And I would like you to imagine that it's 6 months from now, and just look at everything what you created. You awaken up in the morning, and before the emails, before the social media notifications, before the endless list of things to do, you place your hand on your heart. And instead of asking, what do I have to do now? You ask, what wants to move through me today? Who am I meant to impact today? Where is life guiding me today? And instantly, your day feels different. Now, imagine walking into your business the way a spiritual guide walks into a sacred temple. Every conversation matters, every post matters, every person matters. Not because you're trying to get something from them, but because you are genuinely here to serve. And now, look at your calendar. It's filled with conversations. They are not random conversations, they are aligned conversations. Conversations that energize you, conversations where people feel seen, conversations that naturally become opportunities, conversations that naturally become clients and collaborations. And the funny thing is, you no longer obsess about where the next client is coming from because you've become someone who trusts the process. Now, imagine looking at your social media. You no longer spend hours wondering what to post. You simply share what's alive inside you, your experiences, your wisdom, your truth, and people start responding. Now just think about it. New idea arrives and you listen because your spirituality has taught you something most business owners never learn. Everything is feedback. Everything is information. Everything is guiding you. Now, let's go even further. Imagine opening your bank account and instead of anxiety, you feel gratitude because you understand that money is simply a reflection of value exchange. You know that every conversation you've had, every life you've touched, every piece of content you've shared, every relationship you've nurtured, now it's creating the deposits into the bank of the universe. And these deposits are returning, sometimes unexpected, sometimes unexpected, but they are always available. And now imagine the end of the day. You sit quietly and reflect. And you realize that you didn't spend the day chasing success. You spent the day becoming available for it. You just listened to your intuition, you took the action, and now you feel complete. Take another deep breath in and out. And imagine the version of you 6 months from now smiling back. She's confident, she's prosperous, she's trusting, and she knows that everything is always working out for you. All right. When you're ready, gently come back to this room.
Oh my God. Oh my
How
God.
did it feel?
I feel like somebody just made love to me. I ain't even
Oh, how beautiful. How beautiful.
lying. Oh my. Oh,
That's so beautiful. It just reminds you that we do not have to travel anywhere. We can come to that frequency anytime that we desire.
absolutely. And, again, you said so much in that meditation, that visualization, that whole thing about, you're with your clients and your collaborators and,
Mhm.
it's all being built up and, I manifested Irina in my life and here I am sharing her with my audience and I'm so happy to be able to do that. And then you ended that was an inspiration from me. Like, I'm like, Irina's got an incredible voice. And, what if I let her lead the visualization? I'm
Yes.
like, yes. And look at what I received and whoever was watching is receiving. That is awesome. Very
Yeah, and I manifested you as well. Remember, the universe always brings the right people together. So I'm super grateful for you as well.
absolutely, friend. Absolutely. So, look, everyone. I want to thank you for watching the show. It's been beautiful spending time with Irina. I'm sure you'll agree. So much
Yeah.
wisdom coming from this woman. This was Bold Conversation Mondays. We do this every Monday at the Spiritual Business Hour with Crystal Lynn Bell. I want to also let you all know that every week I create a cheat sheet for you. And there is a little QR code up in the upper right corner. And I will also put this cheat sheet link in the description for you so you can get that. But in the meantime, I will be back here tomorrow at this time. It's 2 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time or Pacific Daylight Time right now. And yeah, so join me live or watch the replay. And also, please tell your friends about what we're doing here. Tell your friends about the magnificent Irina, who so much power and joy to the work that we are doing. And yeah, tell them about the spiritual business hour as well.
Thank you so, so much. Thanks for having me, Crystal.
Yeah, you're welcome, darling. Thanks for joining. All right, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye for now. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.